Yo. Alright, what's good? How we doing? Alright, so here's today's recap. 1 minute after open, see like big Pika stack on SPY. A lot of upside fuel, a lot of upside fuel. So if you're just looking at this on open, you're kind of thinking like if they hold it above 741 on SPY, we could get a massive pumper. And so you just want to buy the dip and get paid as long as they hold 726 and 741. I did play this rejection off to 74.50 for like 10 points. So basically, like, sometimes you can get away with like, it was like, basically it's just a 74.50 reject. Like Q's had this magnet lower, Spies is kind of magnet lower. So I played a 10-point rejection off of 74.50 and it paid. It's like 20%, 30%. And pretty sure there's a dip to buy. Just trolling, I guess. But basically, like 74.50, Q's is absolutely ripping. So Q's is leading us. So basically, like you want to watch Q's, but like there was a 74.50 resistance. And once we broke it, then we just absolutely were off to races on Q's. A big hit today that I was oblivious to was the 740 and 741. They were in the money basically the whole session. So just get long and stay long. Look for dips to buy. Don't really fade it. Even though there were a couple of fades that were possible. Kind of slipping that ceiling on spooz. But yeah, really biased today. Should have just gotten long and stayed long. Here's a nice reject off the 743 node. Played nicely off the 7460 as well. Coming in some resistance on Qs, coming in resistance on SPY. This is very shortable. Again, big king nodes like this usually give a really nice reaction on at least the first tap, if not a continued reaction. So boom. Smaller rejection. A little bit of inflection point on Qs coming in with a little bit of a pull higher. Maybe look for a long if we retest the 743. Or not, I guess. You can still, I would still be willing to short the 745. It didn't really, I wouldn't count that as a hit. So 745 first tap coming in as Q's rejection. 735-ish. I think you can short the 745 first tap. These SPY king node first taps have been absolutely money lately. A little bit of an overshoot to be expected. It's a negative node. Oops. Nice little dumper. But again, if you look, Qs, you can trim on this 732 and start trimming in 731. But SPX doesn't have resistance to like what, 7460. So you can kind of leave some more contracts hoping to see the 7460 node if we're trying to get long. There's one little bounce up to 732, but I think we ended up coming down. All right, so here, lower Q node starts to catch us. Still looking for a SPY node. Spooz node starts to hit. So here you're trimming out. Candles red, you're getting out of your puts. And look, these 741, 740s are still massive. So as long as we hold the SPY node, your bias is still long. But like if they were to break this and break this, then okay, maybe they're going to try and rinse these longs. And like you might want to look for a rejection coming down up back into it if this doesn't hold. But lo and behold, boom, 743 holds like a champ. We start to see these higher nodes on SPX come in, more magnet upside. You see this 747 on SPY start to come in. So really like boom, 740 is really pushing price back up. Q starts to get stronger higher. They slip in the 7500. Boom, it's just pumperine. They start building the 745 again. So you can trim your longs here on this Q's, the spooz, and the SPY resistance. But I mean, they put in the floor on SPY. Kind of see it getting stronger on the 745. And then Q's, I mean, expecting at least a tap of 734. If not like 738, 736. Spooz 7,500 lighting up. You could have sold a put credit spread here. That would have been very smart in my opinion. But like, we're just ripping. Held 745 nicely. Boom. Nice little 50-cent candle up on SPY. Still, these upper nodes lighting up on Qs. 7,500 still very there. 7480 is a brick wall. I mean, still got 747 intermittently lighting up on SPY. Break to 734. 736 getting stronger. 738 getting stronger. Spooz got this upside fuel. SPY just paying out these longs. And then today, I tried to short to 74.90 because it was like a rug setup, but like SPY is just way too strong here. This is holding us up. It's like, it's absolutely insane, bro. 734 again. See it be the strongest as we come down and tap it. Could have scalped a beautiful long there, or even held the long. Like, there's like basically like a miniature rejection on SPX, but we just kept ripping. I got cooked there. But again, you still see this upper node sliding up on spooz, Qs, SPY, like eventually these are gonna get tapped, right? So boom, you start to see 747 come in stronger and stronger. Again, 74.90, previous ceiling becomes floor. You know, if you trade heat seeker like that, like you know that's an insanely bullish or bearish setup. So if you come down, boom, you know we finna nuke. If you come up and use it as a floor, you're so paid. So boom, like see a 747 coming, so maybe like you could take a short here, but it would have to be very small. Because look, these guys on 740 and still 741 are still there. This dude on 734 is still there. So like maybe just take a small little scalp, or you trim your longs there. Like that's a good point to trim longs. Little bit of rejection. Kind of married to this node. Gets stronger on Atlas. I think it prints a little bit of a rejection here. Yeah, so it prints a nice little rejection, but like it's still not that much. 7510 is just like written in the stars. They kind of removed the 736, so maybe there's a little bit more downside on Qs, like 735 maybe. But again, 7390 is still a brick wall. So like, could have scalped some longs there. But look, 7390, previous ceiling, kinda. Comes a very strong floor. Boom, like 746 is still here. Still got these upside nodes pulling on Q price. Again, the node's getting a little bit stronger, so maybe you anticipate a small little pop right here. You sell some puts. Oh. I mean, he would have had a heart attack, but they kind of slide in a floor there on spooz, if you saw it. Boom, nice little spike candle. Again, be careful. Could possibly scalp a 747 reject. Maybe one more time, but I wouldn't take a chance. Again, these are good points to scalp your longs. Or not scalp your longs, trim your longs, I mean. Again, another small little floor slipping on spooz. Boom. 747. So we still have an hour till close. Like these higher nodes on Qs have been lit up all day. So these are exerting a large pull on price. You even have this 739 and 740 lit up on Qs. So like you just look like, okay, so most of the pull is upward on price. And even on SPY, 748 kind of comes into play. It's like, ooh, 7510. So maybe there's like a mock short. Yo, can you play? Maybe you get long off this 747. Oh. It's kind of a nothing burger. But like, boom. So you turn this previous ceiling into a floor. Get a little bit of upside fuel on the 7505. So here, maybe you're thinking like SPY dark pool, SPX dark pool, QQQ dark pool, short all three. That would be an absolute banger if you could catch that. I don't know if he gets up there. Okay, so you only get the SPY dark pool, but you do tap 748. Does it nuke or what? Okay, so you end up coming back down to test the SPY dark pool. But boom, look, that's SPY short's beautiful. You do tap the 7510 node. So like you really can't get much more happy with this. Like sure you could be like, oh, but Q's, Q's, Q's. Yeah, it tapped the 738 stone. So that was a really nice short. That was a really nice short. But then guess what? This Q's node starts to catch us. We might see a little bit lower on SPY though. Yeah. Okay, so there's a nice little overshoot. They do slide in this little 736 on Q's. So maybe like I don't know if you get the 74.95 tap, but maybe you could scalp some longs here if you get a 74.95 tap. It's relatively close. I don't really know if I'd count it. But again, 747. Oh, well maybe you do get it. Yeah, that's a pretty fucking nasty tap. Holy shit, I would have longed that so hard. But again, look. Massive rug on spooz. Large magnet on 747. And I mean like this is a really nice double top like on SPY. Like this is totally shortable. A nice little double top and this massive magnet on 747. So maybe you mock some shorts, man. Boom. Holy shit. What in the flizzy? Oh, I guess mock was fun. I really need to start playing mock. Holy shit. But I mean, there you go. There's your double top on the SPY dark pool. I think that was close. Was that close? Yeah, it was close. So boom. Nice little recap. I think like the biggest lesson to learn is when you see these large Picanos at open and they start to pay them out, don't fade the trend. I got burned on that today. But yeah, always learning and keep on trucking. All right, see y'all boys tomorrow.